All right, we are still at where are we at? Salesforce Connection?
Yes.
Is it or hard?
No,
in?
this one is Salesforce Connections.
It's Connections
But
Prime.
Charlie was customer
That's a little-
connection.
If you look,
Right.
see, look, it's Connections. It's
Oh.
Connections Prime.
There it is.
Right.
So this is a Transformers movie?
Oh my God, it's already
Connections
gone off.
Prime?
We've gone off the rails
Optimus
already.
Prime.
It's only like 2 minutes going on here. All right, wait. All right, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg. I still don't know if that's true, even though.
It's still
Well,
hasn't
look, I'm
changed. 68
68 now. My memory is short, so I might have said that the last time too, but I don't know if I said that.
All right, move in a little bit so we could actually
Yeah.
see. All right, there we are. All right, so you're Paul. I'm Brent. Who's this guy?
Mark Benioff.
He's changed a lot.
He's
I'm
got
his
a new
buddy- I'm
accent.
his buddy
right?
double.
Accent.
They sent me to these shows where he
That's
cannot
right.
show up.
That's why he's wearing this particular T-shirt too.
He's not afraid of no. I don't
No
know what that
ghost.
says.
That's his Ghostbusters. I actually just had it
Ghostbusters.
translated.
But we put this little software guy in there.
There
I
we
went-
go.
I took a-
That's the no software.
That's what we do in the body double part.
All right. Well, he is the one and only
Esteban.
Esteban Kolsky.
And before we start, I don't know how many of you know Esteban, but as a result of Esteban being Esteban, Brent and I have to make this statement. All of the opinions are Esteban's own, only Esteban's.
Yes, and we do mean that. By the way.
It's not forward looking as much, it's like us looking straight.
Right.
Yeah, we
This
need a
is-
safe harbor.
This is right. This is actually safe haven statement.
It's a
We
CYA
need a place
statement.
to escape and hide after this is over.
All right, now that we've got that out the way, well, it's been nice talking to you.
I do two shows on Sundays.
I'll be here all week.
Can you believe, as long as we've known him, this is like the first time we've actually had him with us? It's like a historical thing going on.
Again, my memory's very good. Yes, okay. I do. I believe.
I have
totally
to
believe
say, I'm actually hurt that you don't remember that one 3 years ago, but sure, let's call it the first time.
3 years. Is that one of the missing episodes?
That's right.
Where I was missing from the episode?
I was
you and I
missing
were.
too.
All three of us were missing.
It was just the camera that was
But
sitting.
then again, it could have been me. I could have been the one doing it. I don't remember.
All right, so this is a momentous occasion. I'm going to ask you a question.
Again,
I'm guarding myself for
heard the
this.
disclaimer in the beginning.
All right, now we are at Salesforce Connection.
Yes, we are.
So what has been your what has been your take on the event so far?
Other than the fact that it's in Chicago,
Oh, okay. Well,
not a big fan of Chicago's weather. I'm okay with this.
It was-
Oh, yeah,
not
yeah.
a
You're
bad-
already
I know.
dissing Chicago?
No, this is the weather.
well,
I like the city. I had a wonderful meal last night.
Where?
Called Plancha de Quixar, which is a Catalan tapas place right in South Michigan.
why didn't you tell
Blackstone
me?
Hotel.
Blackstone Hotel.
Why didn't you
that's
tell
right.
me? I would have.
Yes.
Could have got the
So we had, yes.
plantain burger.
You would have loved it because we had the Spanish version of pulled pork,
Well,
I know.
He would have looked for a.
except that it was alive and kicking.
Oh, heck no. All right, yeah.
That's right.
So what do I think of the event? I think the event actually, as you both know, the event was discontinued for 2 years.
Yes.
So
Right.
The last one we
The last
attended
one
was
was in
3 years
Atlanta.
ago.
Right, it was a marketing cloud.
Yes.
It was in Atlanta.
Marketing
And
cloud
It was
at
a
the
marketing
time.
cloud, which came after the Exact Target, whatever they called it,
Right.
in Indianapolis and New York and Atlanta and everything. But it showed progress from the last 2-3 years.
How's that?
I'd be nice to say that not as much as I expected, but it shows some progress.
Wait a minute. Is there anything that ever meets your expectations, though?
Yeah, are you gonna go and protect them? Okay. No, nothing ever meets my expectations except for my kids.
Oh,
that
man.
was- wow.
Father's Day is coming right
I
up.
guess Charlie Isaacs. Charlie Isaacs
Your
is
kids
back.
ain't gonna see this before that.
Somehow we're doing a second episode with Charlie Isaacs.
Oh, I know. Yeah. Charlie came back. Where's the?
No, I mean, actually, it's not a question of expectations. I mean, the reality is like, clients are demanding, their clients, not my clients, their clients are demanding, they expect to be a certain level, they expect
Right.
certain technologies, certain integrations to be there, and that's just not there. There's still a lot of road to cover, but they did show some progress. 3 years ago was a horrible conference where I got banned from attending the following year, which thankfully didn't happen.
Wow.
So they forgot about it, so I'm here now.
I forgot.
Uh-oh, here comes like three police guys.
Did I tell you this is being live streamed and they're actually in the other room listening?
Which is fine. I mean, but one of the key concepts, one of the key questions that I referred to last year was the complete avoidance of the concept of B2C marketing and anything to do with B2C, and they were just doing basically email automation for B2B only before. they done some work. They got a little further ahead. There's a lot more to go, but at least they're actually aiming in the right direction.
Okay, so tell me, one of the things they've been emphasizing here is they're calling it the integration cloud. It's not a cloud. I will publicly say it. I'll privately say it. I'll publicly say it again later. It's not a cloud, but
Yes.
the MuleSoft acquisition is the MuleSoft acquisition.
Yes.
Integration is something. One is good idea for them. Two is what markets are they going to start addressing.
I wrote about it on my blog cloud.
Did you use a pen cloud or
I use a keyboard cloud
a
to write my opinion cloud on the integration cloud. And basically I said it's not a cloud. No, but so MuleSoft.
And the acquisition was cloudy at best.
It was cloudy at best, cloudy with a chance of integration.
He ain't afraid of no cloud either.
There you go. Yeah. Dude, you're good at this. But seriously, so MuleSoft, Scribe, and another company that I'll name later because I can never remember the name. Were the
I'm doing the same thing?
Yeah.
Informatica.
No, Informatica is only during the data side. There was another company that was actually before Scribe and all these guys. I remember, but Scribe and MuleSoft.
Scribe, my God.
I know.
been
It just
around
got acquired
forever.
by Tipco.
They did?
Yeah, last week.
Wow.
I used to deal with them in like the 90s.
We all worked with Scribe. We all
Yeah.
went to an event about
They were the
6-7
first.
years ago. Yeah, they were the second. So this company, I can't remember the first. Scribe was the second. MuleSoft was the third. I got people that know technology and development, which I haven't done in like 30 years, and they tell me that MuleSoft was the best, and I take their word. But in all honesty, this is interesting. Say it's not a cloud because the only reason for MuleSoft to exist is companies that don't know how to adopt the cloud. So actually use MuleSoft as an in-between legacy and all that wonderful stuff that they accumulated over the years and the cloud. And using MuleSoft, you can actually put data that is old into the place. Was it a good acquisition? Expensive as hell? Pardon, expensive as heck?
That's right. As I said, our audience
I'm
is
trying to
under
keep it
40.
PG, right. No, it was very expensive. They pay way more than they should have.
Right.
The technology is really, from my perspective, you know me, I'm a cloud purist, 3-tier cloud. MuleSoft, for the most part, is an on-premise developer with some cloud availability. Not really the best technology in the world. It's going to be the biggest challenge they have to integrate it into their real platform and cloud. But it's something that they needed to do if they wanted to continue in their path. Now the question that they didn't ask is whether the path is correct, and that's a different, that's a different show.
What I'm asking you is not either of those. I actually was asking you, does this mean they're going to be taking a different path?
They're gonna continue the same path, unfortunately. I wish they would take a different path.
What path
Let
would you
me
like
ask you
them to
this.
see?
Think of it this way.
I want to. Yeah. What
No,
path do you want them to take?
I wanted to become a true cloud provider, separated in 3 tiers, your infrastructure, platform, and software, and focus on the platform and create services for all their applications and deliver services and value to that.
Ecosystems and platforms.
Ecosystems and platform. That's what the world is going to become. But
with you.
they're not. They're still selling applications for a crap load of money that people cannot afford, and it basically takes them out of the SMB market at all. You know, I just finished a research report where I actually looked into the SMB and why they don't adopt Salesforce, and the number one reason, 96%, money, 75% complexity. Well, there's nothing left at that point, right? so to make it complex and make it expensive, they really don't do it. And I wish they would do a much better job of becoming a platform of choice versus becoming a system of record.
What would be a good example of a company that's doing just that?
None of them that you would probably know, identify, or understand the problem is like, all these guys, Salesforce, SAP, Oracle, and Microsoft, they have lock-in in the clouds.
Right.
You can't replace it. So it doesn't matter who it be. I mean, we can mention, I'm really good with names, I promise you. I'll come to you.
Yeah, it'll come back to you.
Yeah,
It'll come back.
I'll put it in the comments once this goes.
Is it a big company?
No, it's a very small company. It's a great company. Actually, it's a fairly big company, Hybris. Hybris had a great platform before SAP acquired and destroyed it, right? And Hybris had a good platform. It was just actually 3-tier platform. They did e-commerce, they did marketing, sales, and very, very easy. New services, same platform, same data model stored in the infrastructure level, and they did it. These guys, everything that you do requires like a whole different cloud because each cloud is independent from all the other ones, and we're not at the point where they're integrated.
Well, look, on that level, clouds don't run this way. So
That's right.
Clouds run this way.
They
actually.
run this way.
Vertical
Not
versus
this
horizontal.
way, yes.
Okay. So what are you saying is clouds run vertical, not horizontal.
Right. In case nobody got that,
Horizontal.
horizontal,
Vertical.
vertical.
Although I have other definitions, but that's for.
But
The
guys-
interesting thing is what to call something that runs horizontal. It could be a layer in a platform. It could be, Dennis said
Architecture.
it's Salesforce. You call it. He said if you're going to call it something, call it a force, a dot force, basically.
Well,
right?
actually, force.com
Right.
is
Yeah.
basically the
exactly.
horizontal. Yeah.
It's not a bad idea.
But you were talking about the definitions of cloud by Salesforce, vertical. And
Well, actually, in
or
that
any
case,
cloud.
anybody with this definition of cloud.
Well, no. So here's the thing. If you're actually talking about a three-tier cloud, right? It's neither vertical nor horizontal because the whole concept of the platform is infinite elasticity both ways, up and out, right? So you can actually create.
But that's a platform.
No, that's the services within the platform. The platform
But even
supports
so.
the scalability, and the platform is part of the cloud.
Yeah, but you're talking about it in the totality there. I'm just literally talking about what we would used to call an application, right?
Well,
Right
so that's
now
what
it's
it
a
is.
cloud, right?
So, yeah, okay.
Right.
They've actually forgotten that there's actually a camera running. This is a normal conversation.
So basically, the application, right, is a whole load of beeswax that shouldn't exist anymore. The whole concept is like, we're migrating away from building these humongous applications that are expensive, that nobody can afford, are very inflexible, to more dynamic, citizen programmer developed no code, whatever you want to call it, apps that are based on a platform that delivers the value. So they are
Low
horizontal.
code, no code, but not bro code.
The point is like, applications, what Salesforce calls clouds, they're actually applications. And applications is what people don't want. Customers don't want applications. They want a platform that delivers data and value through low code, no code, citizen programmer, whatever you want to call it, so that everybody can develop their own apps to run on the phone, on the laptop, or whatever it is, for what they need at the moment that they need it. That's the new world of like platforms and ecosystems. Because when I want to build my app that includes some data from Salesforce and potentially some data from some supply chain, you mentioned Informatica before, bringing me some social information, even Gigia bringing me something from Facebook, I can do all that in a platform and deliver as a single app versus a huge application that would take massive amounts of code and people and dollars to get it done.
Well, I will say this. I mean, if you look at like all the big four, you find pieces in each of them of something valuable, right?
Yes.
Each one, like Salesforce, obviously, the thing I always liked about them a great deal is that they've actually been focused on building a platform, even though they're not complete by any means, but they've been focused on building a platform for 16 years.
Yeah.
At least longer than that, probably. I've been aware of it for 16 years, and it's been the eyes on the prize. That's been the one thing.
Let's
With-
cut it to 10 and I
Right.
agree with you.
No, actually, 2002.
At the
that's what-
beginning, they didn't know what a platform
they
was,
didn't
but they
call
got
it.
it.
No, they called it.
Okay,
they
fine.
called it.
They call it no software.
No, not that. I'm talking about no. Actually, it was Teen Sue told me.
What, the
in
Ajax and,
2002.
Force.com
no,
thing?
before
How
that.
far back do you go?
I'm going to 2003.
Okay.
Teen told me we want to be the network upon which all business applications are run.
I remember
was
that
the way he
one,
put
yeah,
it. Yeah,
right.
that was their first like primitive idea of a platform. Right?
Yeah, but that definition, Larry Ellison invented
No,
the cloud in
well, no.
1998.
You know what? Larry Ellison was not off back in 1998, right? I mean, the thing is that
I agree.
SAP, one of the strengths they have is they've always had an emphasis on microservices. They haven't executed well yet, but they have it, right? And they're building out
Because
Yaz.
they got rid of the person who knew how to do it well, and they put it instead.
Well, I'm not going to go there
But
with
yeah,
that yet.
anyways.
Again,
My opinions are my
Esteban's
opinions.
are his own. But Yaz was a smart idea and ahead of its
Yeah,
time,
absolutely.
right? And Microsoft, we saw that. Citizen
The
coding
XRM
thing was
the
amazing.
The XRM platform with Power BI
and what do they call
Apps.
that?
Power Apps?
No,
Power Apps.
Power Apps. Yeah, that was amazing.
The Power Apps and the Power BI running on XRM is a thing of beauty.
I agree. Those are really strengths. Each of the companies has that, and it's interesting. So I think there's awareness at the company level. I just don't think it's. I don't think it's fully baked
the thing,
anywhere.
so if I summarize like you did from my perspective and being nice, I would say Salesforce has the idea of being the platform of choice, right? Microsoft has the idea of integrating everything the company does into one component, which is XRM integrates Office with back office applications and other things from the outside. SAP does a great job with managing ERP, the back office, what they call now the supply chain, right? And they don't do a good job in CRM, but they have something there. And Oracle does a fantastic job of creating verticalized solutions, creating solutions for people that really truly are like full bread stack and they
Yeah.
really cannot move.
Right.
So they all have some value to
Yeah.
add. It's not the question. The question is going forward. These companies that are being created today that will become mega corporations in the next 10 years.
Yeah.
How are they going to run things? And how they're going to run things is through a platform, ecosystems, through services and apps and all this stuff.
I'm 100% on your side on platforms and ecosystems.
Yeah, I don't expect ever to see AT&T run their business in microservices, right? But I expect somebody like Uber already running like that, somebody like Airbnb already running that, and the next generation Ubers and Airbnbs, whatever they may be, running the same model.
On the other hand, you go to China and you see Tencent and WeChat, and they're running on microservices.
Yeah,
they're already
absolutely.
doing it.
And if you go to places like Africa, most of the startups in Africa that I meet, they don't even know what not being in the cloud is. All they know is the cloud. They skip the
Right.
whole part of the infrastructure. So all they have is 3-tier cloud and microservices.
So let me ask you this question. So if you were to pick, let's just say, for whatever reason, it doesn't have to be related specifically to platforms and ecosystems, but just because they've got something going, 2 smaller companies that you think are going somewhere, like let's say, they don't have to be mega corporations in 10 years. They're just companies that you think will succeed well, will do very well, that right now are small. Who are 2 that you would name? Just 2.
So I tell you two
And
that I
why-
that I
and
like.
why?
Yeah, so I tell you 2 that I like with disclaimers, right? I've known the founder of HelpShift from the moment he started, and he's brilliant and he's a genius. And he wrote an application, he wrote a platform with microservices in Lisp some 6 years ago that is still today is ahead of the time. I think that HelpShift with the right people can really take it to the next level. Even Gartner called them out in the last CEC Magic Quadrant when they talk about digital service as an emerging technology, and they mentioned 6 or 7 companies, of which HelpShift was one of them. Right? I do have equity on HelpShift because that's how he paid me when he started. So I love the company for, other than the fact that they have a good product, because they'll send my kids to college, hopefully, right? But even if it doesn't happen, I still think it's an incredible job that he did of right at the beginning of native cloud applications, creating services, creating something that goes further, right? 2 more companies. I have 3. 2 more companies.
That's fair.
Twilio. I love Twilio. Twilio is the way that all these people should be doing their go-to-market, right? Go through the developers, grassroots approach, and then go up and deliver value. There's no enterprise sales team.
Explain, let's assume this audience doesn't know Twilio at all.
So
What do they
Twilio,
do?
okay, when you get a phone call and the number is very close to yours, that's Twilio. That's the bad part of it. But Twilio it provides cloud services for communication. So companies don't need to buy an entire infrastructure to send faxes or SMSs or whatever. They just make a call to Twilio, and through the cloud, they actually gets delivered to you, and they get the interaction. The bad side of that is Twilio sells chunk of numbers that are related to yours, so all the spammers can actually do that. But Twilio, they started, I think 8 years ago or so, and they're still in the same concept, which is building a platform for communications. They have the platform and ecosystems. They don't build functionality for sales or CRM or anything else. They actually build the communication tools, right? And then you take something like Salesforce, you take something like Twilio, and you go through a platform and create an application. So you actually send a text based on the Salesforce data, something that Salesforce cannot do. That would be fantastic. That's why I like Twilio. Grassroots approach, their whole life, they've been actually going after the developers. They're saying, developers, here's our stuff. If you like it, build something with it. They build a great community that supports each other. They build great applications. And then those same developers go up into the management and say, hey, we need to buy this stuff. They don't have a sales team. They do, but it's not very effective. They don't have marketing. The marketing is basically says, go ask your developer. And that's brilliant, right? And the third one is a company called Truly, which used to be Truly Wireless, which I met about 2 years ago. Great guys, and they're still working small stealth. They're not stealth. They're small. They're growing slowly.
What do they do?
So Truly Wireless started as being a way to optimize salespeople time on the cell phone. They would actually track all the sales calls that he made and then report on how much time he spent, and then track that to they would interface with Salesforce. So they would track the phone call, put it on Salesforce, and then you can actually see oh, you spent 4 calls at 5 minutes and you closed the deal in 3 months versus 20 calls at 1 minute and you haven't closed the deal. It's a very interesting approach.
smart.
Right? So that's how they started, but now they're actually expanding this ability to get data from many places and do some triangulation and start looking for true next level analytics.
So they're
Not
they're actually
descriptive.
going beyond descriptive to insight.
They're going from descriptive, passing, what are the prescriptive, Prescriptive, right?
They're
They go
going
to prescriptive.
prescriptive or proscriptive?
No, so proactive is what everybody's doing right now, right? So you have descriptive, proactive, and prescriptive. Prescriptive is basically like, you tell me what happened, you tell me what happened, so I can repeat it, and you tell me what happened, and if I do this, how I can actually affect a repeat, right? So it gives you an ability to make selections. This is the basis for machine learning.
Kind of a little bit like some pros does on the back end of the analytics.
It is, yeah. So this is like, reporting, analytics, and then this is like the beginnings of AI, right? Basically. So
Wow.
in prescriptive, so these guys actually starting to like play around with the prescriptive technology to start to do non-function related prescriptive, which is the biggest problem, because when you're trying to do prescriptive, and tell me if I'm going too long, but when you're trying
We're
to
gonna have
do
to wrap it up because Lori is shooting me daggers.
Okay, well,
Okay.
it'll be
how
just
about-
2 more minutes.
That's literally perfect. 2:30.
Yeah. So prescriptive, right, relies on like, this proactive understands one path and looks for repetitions of the path. Prescriptive understands that like, there's not a single path but many paths, and then it looks for like the difference in all the paths and what would actually affect one or the other to happen, looking for more variables. So this is where artificial intelligence and machine learning kicks in. So these guys are actually pivoted from doing like sales optimization to prescriptive analytics, and they're still trying to figure out what's a better market.
Awesome. Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
we
this
could
is what I
talk to you
do.
offline about that.
Messaging.
I wanna hear that.
Messaging is what I do.
All right. Well, yeah. I don't want to get shot by Lori McCabe. So
You remember
Lori.
her?
yeah. You met her before.
I had an encounter with her once, and it wasn't pretty. And let me tell you, you don't want to be there.
All right. So, wow, that was cool.
That was.
you.
That was worth the wait.
awesome.
That was worth the decade.
We'll do another one in 10 years.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to talk about ESP.
Oh, God. And on that note, folks, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
Esteban Kolsky.
We're out.